Hi everybody, my name is Rishi. Um, yeah, hope you guys are okay. Hope you guys are okay. So today, it's not been a good day. It's not been a good day. Because a person who my family, my mother actually knows somebody quite well, and a relative of theirs' son has just, committed suicide. I personally don't know the guy. I've not met the guy. I've seen a few pictures of him today. Looked very young. I think he's about 28, 29 or something. He's got a good family. Heard his mum cry on the phone. His sisters and all of that. He's got all these things. His family, because in our religion, if somebody dies, you're not allowed to have like a birthday function or those sort of things. That you're not allowed to do wedding functions and stuff. You're not allowed to do. So I think someone else had some really important function, and it's all obviously cancelled right now because of this. So yeah, I don't actually know how to talk. I've never really spoken about this stuff before, because I want to talk about suicide and I want to talk about suicide and what it is, how it affects people. For me personally, death, what that means to me, my perception of life, as well as what the impact of these things can be. I want to try my best to talk about it in this video. So what was the reason for him to take his own life? I think they only told me a story. Obviously he was the only one, or he's the only one that actually knows the whole story. These people have ideas of the story, but something to do with love. He loved a girl for a while. She apparently she played with him. She messed with him. She left. That's something that happened, or he gave her some money, something related to that, and then she left. She promised to marry him, but she said, look, I'm not marrying you, and she left, and she ignored him. And this has gone up for a while, and it really built him some sort of mental pressure, which ended up him doing something harmful to himself. And he was in the hospital. When I first heard of it, I actually heard of it a couple of days ago, that he has done something harmful to himself, that he attempted it. At that time, I was thinking, why, and I was accusing him of being foolish and stuff. But now that he has passed away, I can't actually say anything, because to me, I have a huge respect and a sentimental value towards death itself, because it's the only thing. In front of that, there is nothing. Everybody's the same. There is nobody's better than anybody. Everybody's equal, and death is the only thing that actually proves it. Because this guy is not a celebrity. This guy is not anything famous, anything special. He's not the biggest businessman in the world, but he is a human. And his life, to me, everybody's life has the same meaning. Everybody's values are exactly the same when it comes to death, and I really respect that. So I can't say anything about him. But definitely I am very, very devastated. My mum's very devastated. She's disappointed with what has happened, because apparently he was a really healthy guy. And so much last year, it's probably been the worst year for me in terms of people passing away around me. So my uncle passed away near the end of last year. A person who I worked in a film, an actor, he passed away because of a disease that he had. I think some sort of cancer or something that he had, and he passed away, which was really sad for me. It put me in actually depression for a small period of time. It gave me death anxiety and a little bit like that. And yeah, and then another family member also passed away on my mum's side. So my uncle on my dad's side passed away, and then somebody on my mum's side actually passed away. It's not been really good. It's not been very good. It's not been very good. And honestly, about suicide, for the people who are thinking about killing themselves, hopefully, I don't know if anyone's watching this because they are thinking about killing themselves and if trying to find an answer. What I'm going to say is, I don't know where to start. Where do I start? Okay. How, I don't know, what do you think? How disrespectful do you reckon it is towards the people that have brought you into this world, your mum and dad, who loved you, who held you as a baby in their hands, who thought so much of this, he's going to be everything, he or she is going to be everything for me, this person, my child, they're going to grow up, they're going to look after me, they're going to show this world something, you know, I'm going to make them prove to this world something. I want them to study hard, I want them to have good lives, I want them to build a house, just normal stuff. This is what any parent would want, right? And then I'll get them married and I'm going to have great grandkids. This is what parents would want. How disrespectful is it towards them? They loved you as a child, they gave you everything. Your body belongs to them. They created this body. Your body comes from them. Without them, you would not exist. The doctor who delivered you, that's a disrespect for them. All these nurses that gave you an injection every time you got sick, every doctor that did something about it, all your eye tests, your dental tests, your medical checkups, all of this science around you, everything that you're looking at in your science book, the whole purpose of science and medicine and all of this evolution is so you people, general people, as much as possible. In the beginning, maybe the rich people are able to have it, but eventually everybody should have good, healthy lives. That's what they want, and longevity in their lives. And actually, in fact, a lot of scientists are slowly working towards immortality. They're trying to, program our minds. They're trying to stop us from dying, finding cures for diseases. There's so many people that are going into research, so many people that serve in countries, they're still studying, they're still working. People are getting into the medical field in order to save lives. And what are some of us doing? And some of us are unfortunate because we're born with disabilities, and some people are born with certain diseases which end up taking their lives, which is very, very sad. But this boy that died, he was a very healthy boy. He had no diseases, nothing. He's not suffered from any mental stress, nothing at all in his life, according to his parents. A very young guy. He had a good job. He had everything coming for himself. He even owned a house. No, gave it all up, man. And it's something to do with his love, which they can tell me millions of things. When it comes to this is the only topic. Whenever anyone asks me about love or money or love or this or love or that, this is the only topic that love comes in front of anything else. When it comes to anything to do with emotions, love is such an important thing. Because people feeling lonely, people feeling unworthy, what's the point? What's the use? Why are we here? These are the kind of questions that they're trying to find an answer towards. Therefore, I need to die, which is completely wrong, I believe. Because if everybody thought that, if the person who invented the light bulb, the person who invented the phone, everybody thought that, then we wouldn't have this life. We wouldn't have these luxuries in our lives. I believe that most places that keeping together and knowing your worth, knowing what's your value, what do you want, and the effort you're willing to put in for it. That's what's important. That's what's going to keep you around. Because you should be, you can't stop thinking about something. I cannot stop thinking about death. That's not a thing that I can just stop thinking about. This is where so many people are wrong. When it comes to any addiction, so many people are so wrong, is when you think, I am not going to do this, as in I'm not going to smoke this cigarette. I don't want to do that. That's the problem, because when you think about not doing something, you are still thinking about doing something. The way you don't think about something is by diverting your mind and thinking about something else. When you put yourself and surround yourself with people, with friends, you are focused on something else. When you learn a new skill, you are focused on that. When you're doing your business work, as in working on your businesses and doing your stuff, focusing on your studies, then you're too focused on one thing, because our brains don't work like that. You can't focus on two things at the same time. You focus on one thing at a time. And you want to have a thing that you can focus on for a lifetime. Not for today, not for tomorrow, because once you're done with that task, your thoughts will come back. What you should be doing is you should be doing something that's a lifetime. That makes any sense. So something that will last a whole lifetime. So me, like things that I'm doing, I want it to last for a lifetime. I want to do it throughout my entire life, and only there I could always be happy and my mind could always be on that. And suicide, people are trying to get into, and a lot of people think that suicide is a coward move. That's what they think. They say that only cowards kill themselves, brave people. No, because death is not something that you can easily do. I don't know which religion actually says this, but religion says that if you ever want to kill you, if you think about dying, you throw yourself in the sea, your body, you would see how fast you would fight back to keep alive. And that's so true, because your body and your mind, according to medical, your brain, you only use about 10% of your brain. Your conscious mind is a part of that. So the other 90% of your brain, plus your body, your lungs, your heart, all the parts of your body is working so hard to keep you alive. And you with that, only that little 10% of your brain thinking, I want to force myself into death. It's going to be hell. Actually, you would see the extreme level of hell before death actually happens. It's going to be one of the hardest things. I've never tried it, but I know. And I think if you have the confidence to go ahead and do something like that, you might as well use that. Why don't you use that confidence to live? Because life is, that's it. As long as you have the confidence and the willingness and the love in yourself to do anything, that's the basic foundation you need. And that's the basic foundation any celebrity, any famous person, any successful person that you look up to has ever had. It started from that foundation, and they just went forward with that. So yeah, I don't want to make this video so long, because this is really difficult for me to take in right now, because thinking of a healthy person who was, in my opinion, given everything. It looks like he was. I don't personally know the guy. I don't know his life, but from what I've seen, or from what I can see, he looks like a healthy guy coming from a good family. His family seems to love him so much, gave him everything. He has a nice car, building a house. He had it all to him, but he had a healthy body. He didn't have any diseases, as far as I know. And him disrespecting all of that and leaving, and seeing I can only feel the pain that his family could go through, because how much his family, his mother would have loved him so much, to say that especially like his I don't know, like, I'm just it feels like it's one of the most selfish things that you can do. And the love for my parents, and that's another thing about my mother's parents as well, because I used to get fed up so much whenever my mum calls me for no reason. When I'm outside, my mum calls me for no reason and goes, Rishi, where are you? Have you eaten? Have you have you done this, have you done that? I used to be so annoyed because why is she annoying me all the time? Like, of course I'm eating, I'm not 5, you know, of course I know how to look after myself. So why is she always complaining to me? But then growing up, now I'm 24, I realize who else is going to ask me that? Who else is going to care for me that much to ask me that? She's asking because she of course my mother is the only person that cares. You know, my mom and dad are the people that care about me. That for them, what I mean to them is everything. Their life is me, basically. They go to work, my mom goes to work, all the money, this house, the fact that there's a roof above my head. She probably thinks about me more than she probably thinks about herself on a daily basis. And that's probably what this boy's mother and father and his siblings, his family would have thought about. And for him to lose all of that and to leave them in that devastating position and saying that he wanted his pain to go over, but them, that this pain is going to be there for a lifetime, you know, especially for the mother. Alright, so as humans, or as a product of nature itself, I believe that for me, I didn't feel like I was worthy for a while, about a year ago. So I'll tell you the mental gymnastics that I was going through a little bit, because what I was actually going through was I was starting to question things. I was starting to value, like, I was starting to look around at the trees around me, being like, what's the difference between that tree and me? In a million years, whatever the meaning of that tree's ever had on this planet is the same as what I have on this planet, man. Nothing, you know. It's just over. And that put me in a really devastating position just about a year ago, when the actor passed away. That was so hard, man. That was really, I'm trying my best. I'm strongly, like right now, I'm trying my best to not even go anywhere near that thought again, because I remember thinking so much, man. Overthinking it kept me up all night, and coming out of it was tough. How I came, coming out of that mental game, I've never once thought about ending my life, because ending your life to me is the worst thing, because my biggest fear is death. Death is the one place where I'm completely scared of, and death is the only thing that I've ever felt impressed about, when it's like, is it all going to be over? Is it, you know, what's the worth, what's the value? Is my mum going to pass away? My parents have to go through it at some point. There are sad things that we need to accept, but it's a natural process. It's a natural thing that does happen, and we won't be ready for it, but we do accept it. But you taking the action yourself is morally, ethically, and legally, everything, it's completely wrong. If you have a problem in life, there is a solution. Always look for a solution. If your problem in life is somebody left you in your life and you're left in that position, understand that even what do you want? Right, your want is that person to come to you. That's going to make you happy again. But even if you die, that's not going to solve that problem. She ain't going to come to you. She's gone. She is gone. Right? The best thing you can do for yourself is just wish her the best. You're not going to go and attack and do all of that negative stuff towards the girl, because that's unnecessary either. Right? That's the other extreme. You harming yourself or you harming the world. Both these things are very, very wrong. Equally as wrong. What best to do is wish them the best, right? Wherever you go, whatever guy you're with now, be happy, you know, be happy. But I don't want to think about you, I don't want to talk about you. And you move on with your life. Have something else to focus on. You have your family, you have a loving family. That's what you should have done, in my opinion. That's what you should have done. You should just stay with his family. If you know, of course, in a few years he's not going to remember, and the great things in life come in great different ways. We won't be ready for it. The way the bad things do happen unexpectedly, good things, great things, beautiful things do happen unexpectedly. He could have gotten married. He could have met someone else in his life, and he could have been with them. 20 years later, had a child. and that child could be a really successful child. You know, these things are possibilities. These things are great possibilities. If you looked at life in that positive way, like, you know, our meaning is we could create the best. There is something, you know, there's always something, a skill that we have. What can we do with that in order to move forward, and what can we do in our lives so that it sustains? Or how do you, if you are scared to die like me, and other people, there are people that are scared of death, which means they take the action to be like, all right, how do I cheat death? How do I stop humans from dying? What actions can I take in order to do that? You know, how does our brain work? Can we preserve our brain? Can we preserve our body? There's people that are working towards that. This is what actually got me out of it. Personally, I was doing researches and stuff, and I'm seeing like scientists and all these medical professionals are working so hard day and night, and no sleep, no food. They're just working so hard throughout their life. They don't look at their job as a job, right? They look at it as something way beyond, and they're working so hard to find cures, so hard to find methods to stop us and keep us alive for a long period of time, forever, you know, as long as we are on this planet. And I do have faith, you know, I do have faith that they will find a solution towards that, and I do have faith that they will go beyond. They won't stop there, because that's the power of humanity. That's the power of evolution. We are the smartest, we are the most powerful species in the universe as far as we know, but definitely on this planet Earth. And the way that we're improving, the way that we're able to interact with the world and understand the world and the universe for what it is, and able to make things like, you'll see me on a phone right now, make things like that. Like, what more can we ask for? We are very lucky to be born as humans, man. We're very lucky to be born as humans. And anyone watching this that ever thought about suicide or something, remember something, right? Right now, the world loves you. That's the reason you have a phone or a computer right now in your hands. That's the reason you're probably indoors watching this. The reason there's a roof over your head, right? We wouldn't have done this ourselves. I wouldn't be able to make a phone myself. I wouldn't be able to make this house myself. Other people are the reason for that. So if it weren't for other people, and if it weren't for the society and all of these things, the community, and all these people working together in some way, some form, love is still around us. Love is still coming to us. So, yeah. For me, that was the way that I got out of my anxiety, was simply just seeing how the scientists and all of that work. And once, the thing is, I don't like to dwell on things too much. As soon as I got the answer, like, okay, scientists are working on it, they're going to find out some solution, it's going to be really good, we can just focus on our lives. And so getting out of it was a little bit easier for me. I don't know if it's going to be like that for everybody else. You know, other people are different. Maybe it's more serious. Maybe it's more medical related, which I don't know anything about. But yeah, hard times, it's a very temporary portion of our lives. You know, every time we've ever felt any form of depression or sadness, it would have, most cases, it would have been a very temporary form, right? I might have felt bad 15 years ago when I was in school. I might have felt really bad, you know, I might have felt like life is treating me badly. But am I thinking about it today? No. But if I did something to myself back then, I wouldn't be here to talk to you, would I? That's the same thing. So right now, if you accept it and be able to move past it quick enough, and greatness happens in your life, maybe something great happens 15, 20 years time, you don't know where you would be. And then you would look back and then think back, I'm so happy and glad that I didn't do anything to myself that day. I did one thing I did for myself, which was I made a promise. I made a promise about my life, about what I'm going to do from tomorrow morning onwards, and I kept to that promise. And that's the reason I have this life today, and I have this loving person with me. I have this loving person with me. I have my kids here with me. Everybody, it's all great. It's all happy. My parents, they're all with me. And I'm happy. I couldn't ask for a better life. That's the point. Well, at that point, you wouldn't think of anything else. And that's a great way to think of this, you know, move or let it move on, or just leave it alone and it would go on. But yeah, so it's very sad, man, that why it's just with this death, you know, when I was in school, a kid in my class passed away as well. That really, like, it shocked the whole class. I couldn't get out of that either. Like, from then it began to, you know, a few years later, my grandmother's death, and then a friend who passed away that I go into his funeral, and oh my God, I didn't know what to, I couldn't, man, I couldn't do it. It was really painful for me to be in that funeral, man. Seeing that he was a nice man, he was such a great guy. And what sucks was I came back from holiday at the time. I went to India on holiday, and I came back from holiday, and I asked him. I seen him on Monday. He was talking to me nicely. He was smiling and talking to me and stuff. And then he goes to me. I asked him, "How are you?" And he goes to me, "I'm living the dream, mate. I couldn't ask for more. I'm living the dream, mate. I'm doing everything I want to do." And then he normally brings his kids. His kids are small kids. They come to our martial arts class. That's when I see him. And there, my martial arts coach tells me, "Do you know Alex?" And I was like, "Yeah, Alex. Yeah, he passed away on Tuesday." I was like, what do you mean?" He's like, "Yeah, he had some disease. They found out on the day they found out. That's it. They couldn't do anything about it. It was already too late." So that really shocked me, and that put me in like a mindset, like it could, every time I spoke to someone, it could be like, and that seriously was the last time I spoke to that person. I did not expect it when I spoke to him. I did not think that was going to be the last time I speak to him, because, and he was such a great guy. He's such a sweet guy. But you know, whenever it comes to martial arts class, before my lesson starts, so the kids' lessons finish on Mondays, and I would talk to him. So I'd see him there, so he's getting ready to pick up his kids. I'd just see him there, and I have a conversation with him, and I see that, oh, you used to play football together as well. Yeah, I used to play football with like the grown-ups. So they used to beat me at that. But yeah, so he's such an amazing person to talk to, and it's not fair, you know. It's not fair that he's gone, but he had an illness, and that's one thing. Some people are very fortunate; they have no illnesses. It's when you see something like worse, that's when you value yourself. See, even just the thought, I had a dream once where I thought I had cancer. I got told that I had cancer by a doctor, and that scared the hell out of me. You know, that would kill me, that thought itself. And then when I woke up and I realized I don't have cancer, that made my life, I started to value it a lot more. So people who don't have any illnesses, don't have any problems, they don't live in a place where, in part of the world where their lives are really difficult. They live in a country, a place where their lives are okay as such. They couldn't be happier. They're happy doing their job, they're happy with their families, and ending up thinking to do this to themselves, self-harm is very, 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 I think it's the most disrespectful thing that anyone can do. But obviously only he knows the pain that he went through in order to get to that point, which obviously means how much he's loved that girl. Well, I don't know. So, for those of you, as a lesson, again, most people in my life, I didn't grow up in a hard life, but most people in my life have, people around me, my family have always treated me the right way. My family, I mean, my mum and dad are great parents and stuff, but people like school and friends of friends and toxic friends that I had to hang around with, lots of people have downgraded me a lot. Lots of people made me feel terrible. It never really got under my skin. It normally just hits me on the surface, and I'm able to push through it and go. I never let it get to the bone. But yeah, let this be a lesson. Let this be something for everybody, because you're people that love you, and that's the point. You know, that's the reason you should never give up. You know, the people who love you, they are there for you. If you gave up and you lost, now their lives have to be a tragedy, and they can't. Obviously, his parents aren't able to take this in and then go and harm themselves because they have other kids, right? They have children to worry about. So how's that gonna? That's not gonna be right for them. So they have to be around, and you know, his mother's probably really feeling bad, really in 10 years time, 20 years time, for an entire lifetime. She's not going to give this. She's not going to stop thinking about it. Her love for him is not going to change, and that pain is always going to be there inside all of them. That's what's going to happen. So it's not been a good day. It's not been a good day. But I don't know, I wanted to talk about this to someone. I don't know who to talk about this to, and then I thought about you. I mean, you are my family, you are my people. Talking to you, I have nothing to hide from you. So I wanted to just share this moment with you guys. And yeah. Every problem has a solution. So never ever look at problems as a problem. Always look for the solution. Always think about the things that you can do, the actions that can be taken, you know, to solve that problem. As long as your mind is on that, and that working things out mentally, because that's what we're designed to do. We are humans. We are very intelligent. We are the most intelligent creatures. So our mind should be to work out and find solutions. And also, we are social creatures. So make sure we stay together. Make sure if you feel anything like this, it is good to talk to someone. I did talk to someone about my issue at the time, and yeah, a few people I did speak to, and they will tell you about some of the things. And actually, I spoke to a paramedic, and he was telling me some stuff about how people have passed away on his lap and stuff. And then he talked about the life, and he was a very religious person, so he had a very religious view on it. I'm not religious, but I really took in what he was saying, and it really it did help. So talking about it does help. And if you guys, you know, therapy, there's nothing wrong with going to therapy. There's nothing wrong to talk to a doctor, talk to these specialists who studied and spent a big chunk of their time in their lives, and they're spending a lot of their lives trying to improve and trying to master an art of talking to people and, you know, getting you out of your depression. And so they know, they're trained professionals. So seek professionals. There is nothing wrong with that. They will be really good help to you. I didn't need to, but because I'm okay. But yeah. It's a hard moment. I just feel so like bad for his parents and stuff, man. It's a pain that no parent should ever go through. This pain. Losing your child is the worst pain. Okay. Thank you. Thanks so much for watching.